Hello and welcome to another English podcast with Paul. So today I'm down here at the beautiful docks of Lydney. Lydney, very beautiful place. Nice docks, lots of nice things going on. So what I'm thinking about today is museums. Museums, they talk about how now it's very popular on the news, and about how many countries have said that the museums have lots of artifacts that didn't originate in this country. And so you have the conversation of who owns these items, who should they belong to, where should they live, where should they stay, and were these items stolen, were they taken in good faith, was spoils of war generally a thing you can say. So that's very popular at the moment, and that's where I want to go with this conversation and sort of unravel a bit of some of the things that have been said. Okay, so if we go back to anywhere in the world that has been invaded by other countries, that is pretty much given. Every country in the world has been invaded. Almost, not every country, but almost every country in the world has been invaded by another country. And when that happens, they say the spoils of war. The spoils of war. Meaning that when the country was taken over by somebody else, that country then basically became property of the country that invaded it. And that, like I said, that's virtually every single country in the world. Not all, but most. So when, for example, England was taken over by Normandy, many things were left behind. Also, many things were gained. Many things were gained by the Norman invasion. And likewise with the Saxon invasion. Likewise with, let's go on to Rome and Roman invasion. Now, it is not difficult to see that although we weren't happy or proud to be taken over by the Romans, and the Romans to be in our land and mixing with our women and our people and stealing all the good things we had. I don't like that term, stealing, because it's very negative connotations, but it's just a word. So the Romans were in our country, took what they wanted, and there may well be, if still alive, artifacts or pieces of history, of our history, of England history, in the Roman Empire, in Roman museums, in Italy, and likewise with Greece and Greece's input and rule over many countries. But on the flip side to that, there is also a lot of positive that come from that. Our country would be nowhere near as forwardly, that's not a good word, forwardly. Let's change that word. We would be nowhere near as developed. There we go, that's the word I want. Developed. We would be nowhere near developed if it wasn't for the Romans and their invasion of us. So that's a really difficult conversation, and lots of people don't like it. We have the roads from the Romans, we have the baths, Roman baths, we have loads and loads of water engineering. It's just too much to mention. And without the Romans, we would definitely be underdeveloped and still and still just farming, really. Still just farming. Maybe we would have had some of the Industrial Revolution. I don't know. But definitely lots of engineering, new creativity, new everything. Just so much that we have to thank the Romans for. But nobody really wants to thank another country for invading them. So I guess that gets forgotten quite quickly and quite easily. But yeah, we would be nowhere without the Romans, and I'm sure the same with Normans and Greece and and Vikings. I'm sure the Vikings brought a lot, and then all these other countries, all these imperial countries that have invaded, have brought lots of interesting things, including language. And so you just got to look at the English language to see how diverse it is, and how words from so many different countries or so many different cultures all merge to give the English language the diversity and the colour and beauty that it is today. Even William Shakespeare would have to thank some of the philosophers and the Wordsworth from around the world for the beauty of the English language. So going back to museums, the idea of stealing from another country is a little bit much. All right, you might not choose to go to war, you might not choose to get invaded, but if that is the case, then it's not nice. It's not nice. It's not a good thing. But the spoils of war in regards to what you gain or what you win from potentially invading another country. So you're risking your life. You're risking your life of your crew and everybody else that depend on you, and a lot of money, and probably your own life as well, when you invade another country. Or you invade, the land that's apparently owned by another country. Is very, very dangerous game to play. Very dangerous game to play. So I just want to say that spoils of war and the winnings and what you get from it is a gamble and a risk. The country that is there at the time obviously must kill a lot of intruders. They must defend themselves as much as they can, and so when they lose, the other country is going to take what they want, bring what they want, and try to assimilate with the country with their new teachings, their new understanding, their new way of life and culture, and sometimes they bring lots of good things, sometimes they bring bad things. But it's not a fair game, but then life's not fair. You could say the same about business. When you take over another company and you bring in your new philosophies of work and your new, more effective and exciting new ways of working and producing or delivering the goods that your company produces, that's where you just got to move forward and move on with what you've got. Or what's the alternative? The alternative is you just sit there and cry and wait until you die. So, what do they say? The saying is, all's fair in love and war. In love and war. So whether it's a business takeover, a hostile takeover, or whether it's a country invading another country, you do your best to defend it, but that's nature. That's the way we are as humans. Almost every country has invaded another country, so you can't moan and cry and argue about artifacts that your country has lost if it's been invaded by another country, if you've invaded a country yourself, or if you've taken land that doesn't belong to you. And that's almost every country, every tribe. Going back to tribalism, every tribe tries to take more land, whether they're greedy or whether they just want to expand or just whether they think it's fair game and free no man's land, then that's the case. It's the way the world, it's the way human nature is. It's the way that, tribes of monkeys will act, when trying to build a bigger territory for your family, for your group, So it is very contentious. And I'm sure that I wouldn't be very happy about it if I was invaded, if my country was invaded now and they took away the resources and the value of things we have in the country. But unfortunately, that's the way things move, that's the way things grow. And like I said before, almost every country that gets invaded gets given a new lease of life with new technology, new ethics, new ways of looking at things, new ways of changing. And you can always revert back. For example, there's countries in Asia that have been invaded by France, and there's still some French architecture there. There's a lot of French roads, a lot of good French infrastructure, and it's the money from France that paid for it. What did France take from these countries in Asia? I don't know exactly. Obviously they took their dignity, but the countries in Asia are still speaking their native natural language. So they've kept their language and they've reverted back to their language. And yet they're still enjoying, for decades and decades later, they're still enjoying all the spoils that France brought to those countries in Asia. Like me now in England, we're still enjoying Roman-built roads. We're still enjoying Roman plumbing and Roman engineering for decades and decades. So as much as I'm upset that we were invaded by Rome, and it was a long time ago. You can't hold on to grudges. You need to move forward, And a really, really good example of this is Germany. Obviously, after the German World War, there was a lot of people understood and were re-educated in that one party and one man really convinced a lot of people that there was a better way of life and another way of doing things. But all in all, in Germany, they've really learnt by their mistakes. They've really learnt from it and grown from it and owned it, accepted it. Accepted as that was their past, that was something that happened. It's not something they're proud of, but it's something that happened. And so you've got to move forward and let go and grow. Otherwise you just become jaded and stagnant and, I don't know, stuck in life. So when I've been there, I've been to places in Germany where they've been had billboards, maybe not billboards, information boards around Nuremberg, where they used to have the party showground and where they did a lot of their speeches and things like this. It's very interesting. There's lots of photos, there's lots of written in English and in German, and it's really impressive to see a country move forward from it, and grow from it and learn from it. And now Germany is a very, very strong company, and it's actually the backbone of the whole of Europe, in my opinion. I think Germany is an outstanding country. Their engineering, their work philosophy, their trade philosophy, and the way they look after the workers is amazing. I wish my country was more like it, to be honest. So I've got nothing but respect and admiration for the way Germany has moved forward. So yeah. I'm guessing as well Germany would have lost some land and lost a little bit of dignity, but they're growing again. They're a strong super powerhouse. They show how resilient and how good their people are to be able to pick themselves back up and start again and move forward. You know, and some might say they're very, very powerful again now in a different way, in regards to, you know, their work ethic, their quality of work. You know, outstanding. You know, good, solid people. Lots of respect for them. So when it comes to spoils of war or artifacts that are lost, I think we need to just move along with it and just accept that you know, we do the best we can with what we got. So I don't think there's anything else we can say about that, other than other countries or other people will always moan and always argue if it's not in their favor. Some people are just sore losers. And yes, it's really awful when you get invaded. Awful. You know, many of your friends and family and countrymen are killed or have to accept a new regime and a new way of life. But unfortunately, that's just life. That's the way humans work. So that's very sad. But take a leaf out of the book from the Germans. Move on, pick yourself up, start again, and grow and learn from it and become stronger. You know, there's always a lesson to be learned here. Picking yourself up and making yourself stronger. Start again. So that's what I think about artifacts and museums and countries arguing about their possessions stolen. That's my thought. That's my take on it. If you have a different perspective, I'm open to listen to a conversation. As adults, we can discuss things, and that's what makes it an interesting and diverse freedom of speech and diversity of the English language. All right, we can act as adults and we can discuss it. We can get passionate, we can get excited and things like this, but we are just adults having a conversation. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know if this touched you. Let me know if you have some personal or first-hand experience of this. Let me know in the comments. Tell me how you feel. Tell me about what you think. All right? So as always, have fun. Enjoy listening to English. Enjoy practicing English. Try speaking every day and just have a good time learning English. Okay, that's it for today, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care and have a good week. Bye for now.